Now, there have been countless Elvis tribute shows over the years, but our next guest tells us that none of them hold a candle to what is about to happen in Sydney next month. Let's welcome singer, songwriter, actor and now producer Marty Roan to tell us about his record-breaking opportunity to get close to the man, the myth, the legend like never before. Marty, it's great to see you.
Great to see you guys.
What makes this show utterly unique?
It's the biggest Elvis show in the world.
Wow.
Put simply. Yeah, when the Elvis movie came out last year, it revived the Elvis legend as if it needed any reviving. So all of a sudden we had more Elvis impersonators, we had more Elvis shows. And what do you do to raise yourself above the noise so that, you know, people notice what you're trying to do? And that is to create the biggest Elvis show in the world. And creative director Johnson Peters has created this amazing visual experience for the audience, and so that's why we're here.
Wow. The love that people have for Elvis and the kind of the commitment to him and absolutely everything that goes out there. When you raise above the noise, as you say, what can the audience expect on that night?
Well, when we did the original show in Melbourne last year, we sold it out a month in advance. And what we did was we created, you're talking about the Elvis legend. Well, this show actually tells the Elvis legend from the very young to the old, to the end. And so therefore we put it on there, and when we put it on we set the world record, and then we had inquiries from Italy, the United States, New Zealand, Australia, and promoter David Lazarus from Sydney contacted us and said, we've got to put this on in Sydney. But he said, if we're going to do it, let's break the record. Wow. So that's what we're going for.
So how big is big? How many people in the cast? And then talk us through what was the casting like?
150 musicians and singers.
Woo, wow.
And the wall of not noise, but the wall of music that hits you at the opening overture of the whole show is amazing, you know. But the cast consists basically of the musicians, the singers, and the father and son Elvis for the first time anywhere in the world.
Wow.
And so
how did you find them?
Well, we realised that this story was from the beginning to the end. So we thought, we can't find someone who can actually age from a young Elvis to an old Elvis. So we heard about this father and son Elvis, Australians, both Australians. Paul Fenech, who does the Elvis thing, but then we heard his son did it. His son looks amazing, 25 years old, slim, does all the moves and all of that stuff. And we thought, there you go. He's going to do the Elvis in the leathers, and he's going to do the Elvis as young. Good. And then, almost seamlessly, you would hope, because they're father and son, you get Elvis in Vegas at the end of the show.
46 years since the King died.
Passed away.
And his legend only gets bigger, doesn't it?
Well, it does, and I think that's because he died prematurely. Yeah. And also because he never got to perform to his fans all around the world. No. So there are millions and millions of people all around the world that never got to see Elvis perform. And so the legend has just grown and grown over the years. So what we've done with this show, with John's amazing audio-visual presentation, is we are creating that Elvis legend on stage from the beginning to the end. When we did the Melbourne show, I ran into a fellow out in the foyer who I know, and he was in tears. And I said, you did enjoy it, didn't you? And he said, I felt there today that I was watching Elvis.
Wow.
And he said, that's the closest any of us will ever get. And that's, I think, what makes this show so magical.
Wow. That's a big compliment.
It is a huge compliment.
Yeah. You keep adding to your own career and your own legacy as well moving forward. What comes up next for you, Marty?
Well, John and I are producing a show called The Rock Proms, which is based on a night at the Proms in the Royal Albert Hall, which you'd be familiar with. But what we've done is we've actually put a rock band in amongst the orchestra, and we're doing the greatest rock songs of all time, the greatest anthems by the greatest artists of all time, and putting this amazing rock band in amongst the orchestra. I saw it when it was done with Status Quo back then.
Right.
Greatest concert I've ever seen, and that's what we're recreating.
Fantastic. Oh, there are some bangers you could include in that.
Well, Elvis and the Proms, what could be better?
Brilliant.
The wall of music. I can just feel it now. You can get your tickets for the biggest Elvis show on earth at Sydney's Darling Harbour on the 12th of August from ticketek.com.au. Don't
want to miss that one.
Thanks so much for being with us,
Marty. Yeah, we appreciate it. We'll see you there.